Hey everyone, Rob here. Hopefully everything is working well. I believe it is. It's been a while for me doing Rob's Rogues. I'm trying to adjust my hat. It looks all funky. Um, so, anybody that might have been wondering, like, hey, what's Rob's Rogues been doing? I haven't been doing a whole lot other than doing a lot of podcasting. Haven't done any reviews in a while for action figures, although I have still been picking up some action figures. This is a new McFarlane's multiverse line. The Rebirth Joker just picked him up. You can see a bunch of other ones that I've gotten up there. Still doing the action figure thing. Haven't done much as far as reviewing, but I thought this might be cool to hop on here. If you've seen the title of this, I think it was 2017, I think, is when Ollie's had their big DC Comics trade that a lot of us trade sale, graphic novels that a lot of us just went crazy for. And I know I bought a bunch by the truckload on the podcast. Robin, Everyone Loves the Drake. Terrence Ryan and myself were sharing our Ollie's hauls. So every once in a while, because of that, I've always kind of gone to Ollie's anyway. Just because you can find stuff cheap, good stuff cheap, I think is what their slogan is. So I've gone from time to time, but since now, mainly because of the graphic novel sale that they had, I keep going back every now and then just to kind of see what they have. And I picked up a couple of things. Off to the side, I can't quite get it now because I wasn't thinking quick enough. 2 months ago, this is October, I think July, actually August, probably. Now that I'm thinking, I had gone to Ollie's and I saw them today. I didn't pick it up because obviously I had it, but I got 2 absolutes, which is the first time I've seen an absolute at Ollie's. It was the Kevin Smith Green Arrow run, and then the Jim Lee Brian Azzarello. I'm going to get it. I think it's Man for Tomorrow, Man of Tomorrow. I forget. I always get the title of that wrong, but I got both of those absolutes back in August, and I got the Kevin Smith Green Arrow for 14, and then the Jim Lee Brian Azzarello one for 12. And I saw them today at another Ollie. So in case anybody's like, oh, holy crap, I didn't know there were absolutes. At least the couple that are around me, I've seen both of those there. So I went to Ollie's today because I saw on Facebook that somebody had picked up, I think the Legends of the Dark Knight series. It was the Jim Aparo book, and somebody had gotten that for $8, I think $8.99. So that was the reason why I went to Ollie's today. My Ollie's did not have it, but I found something maybe even better. So I'll do the blind bag for the thumbnail. I picked up 10 comics here. I could see the first 2 comics, Gotham Knights, which I've been slowly going through and finishing this series off. I don't have quite every issue, but I know I don't have issue 30. Yeah, 38. I don't have 38 in the collection. So I thought, well, this is an easy way to get it. And then the back of this is a Flash book. This would be Flash. Where's that? Flash 13. So I'm kind of hoping that the rest of these are all DC, at least, because that's primarily what I collect. And but the other thing I'm going to show first, and so this is one of those. Sometimes some podcasters will say, what's what's a comic truth you have, or what is that secret of being a big, huge comic book fan? What is something that you have never read before that everybody else in the world has read, but for whatever reason, it's like on everybody's top lists or whatever of, greatest Superman stories or Batman story, or whatever it is your thing. If somebody says, oh, I've never read, Infinite Crisis, people would go, what? So a story I've never read, and I'm kind of ashamed to say this, being a big Robin and Batman fan, is this. I've never read The Long Halloween. I know I could probably get booed for this. So I saw this there, and I wanted to get it because it was the Noir edition and because it's Ollie's. So if you can read the price, it is $8.99. This is normally listed for $49.99. So I think if you went into a Books a Million, Barnes and Noble, or even your local comic shop, you're going to pay the $50 for this bad boy. But Ollie's has it for an incredible price. So this is the first time I've seen it at an Ollie's, and I talked to somebody else recently, and they saw it at theirs. So I don't know how long the Long Halloween is there. It has been there, but it's at least been a couple months for the Superman Absolute and Green Arrow. So there was only 2 copies of the Green Arrow, and then the one that I went to, there was 6 copies of the Superman one. So, but there were quite a few of these. So I'm guessing these have been a newer acquisition. There were a few other things there. So I did not find the Jim Aparo Legends of the Dark Knight. I believe that's what that series is called. But I did find this, and I thought this, was kind of, I've never read this. And it's also one of those that the story has been out there long enough. Like I know all the bits and pieces, but to sit down and read it, and getting to read it as the noir version, I think will be pretty cool. So this was the big thing that I picked up today, and one that I'm happy to have in my collection now, but sad that I've never read The Long Halloween, which also means I've never read Dark Victory. So as much as I loved Batman Hush by Jeff Loeb, of course, this is beautiful art by Tim Sale. So I think it's going to look absolutely fantastic in this noir edition. So very, very cool. So the big thing I thought would be kind of cool is just to open up the blind bag. This was something as a kid, I think my mom gravitated gravitated me to when I was wanting to buy comics at the grocery store. I was wanting to buy, of course, if there's anything Batman, I always wanted to go get it. But the bigger bang for her buck would be to get the bag of comics. Sometimes it was a 3-pack, sometimes it was a 5-pack. Every once in a while, you may get lucky and it would be a 10-pack. Those are rare. So mom didn't want to spend for that. So seeing things like this, just makes me think of those old days of going to the grocery store and trying to, thumb through the side and go, all right, well, who is that? Do I really want to buy this? But usually it'd be the front facing book was all that you would see in the bag. Sometimes, all the books would be, the fronts would go this way and the back. So you're like, all right, that back looks different. So Ollie's is a great place for some people that don't know what Ollie's is. They buy a lot of liquidation type things. So when Toys R Us went out of business, they bought stuff or warehouses that have been sitting on a bunch of stuff. And it's not just comics. It could be, shirts and shoes and coffee and toys. There was a huge toy section set up. So every now and then you'll find some, really cool stuff there. So this is cool. There was even a bag and boarded here. So I just saw a middle book. So we'll just kind of go through the top here. So Gotham Knights, this was the first one that's in here. And again, this is a run that I'm trying to complete. I've always liked the Batman and the Gotham Knights. So very cool. So issue 38. So it'd be great if these are all DC. I don't think they are. Nope, definitely not. So Jim Henson's The Power of the Dark Crystal. Interesting. So it's not like you're going to find a book in here that I'm going to be able to retire. Hey, Ben, what's up? My love for those also goes back to my childhood. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, and this is how you kind of stumbled, onto some stuff like this that, you may not have bought or read otherwise. So, The Thing. So, very interesting. And I remember these ads very, very well. What year is this? 1984. Is that right? Yeah, is this right? 84? Yeah. Thing number 12. So this is kind of odd. I love blind bags, the power of the blind bag, fun gems you stumble upon. So I'm actually really kind of shocked about this book. Typically in there, like you had some stuff you could see there was, as far as DC stuff goes, or even Marvel, but for DC, I saw a lot of Rebirth stuff. There was some New 52. So I kind of I had a bunch of that stuff. Um, so generally, you don't find books of this age in these blind bags. They're in more recent era. So seeing, the Gotham Knights on here, I'm like, all right, that's a 2000s. This is 2003. So I didn't even look to see when the Dark Crystal was. It's definitely a little bit newer. 2018. So already, the price for this bag, like I said, this is probably nothing I'm going to, be able to buy a yacht with, but to have a book from, and the funny thing is, I've always said, people ask if I read Marvel. I don't really read Marvel a lot. Not that I don't like Marvel. I've seen playing the movies, but 1984 was about the last time I read Marvel. I think I have like the Amazing Spider-Man 300. I forget what that was. When Aunt May died, whatever that was. That was the last book I bought, but there was a, 15, 20-year gap in between that. So the book that was bagged and boarded in this is what I did see. Malibu Comics Prime, Ultraverse Prime. I have no idea. Issue 11. Jones, Straczynski, and Breyfogle. Norm friggin' Breyfogle. There's only one Breyfogle, and it's of the Norm. So just having Norm on it, if I could quote Kite Man, hells yeah. The Pain of Blind Bag, things you are absolutely not interested in. You are absolutely correct. So here's another one of those things. I've got this. You're the Villain. So not shocked. This is more of the fare that you would tend to see in some of these, especially from being Ollie's. Again, Zendra, I think. It's going in the box of stuff I will probably never read. Something I'll flip through. Some of the art. Shag. Wow, she's hot. So anyway. What do we got here? New Dimension Comics. Okay, so this is who put those together. They are in my Ohio area, Ohio Valley Mall. So I've actually been to this store, so I've never seen any of the slips in there. So there are New Dimension Comics in, where was it at? Most of them around Ohio. Anyway, a couple more here. Yeah. Again, nothing much that I will probably read other than those first couple. Warlock and the Infinity Watch. Interesting. About down to the end here. Ice Age on the World of Magic the Gathering. And the last book is The Flash. So, out of the stack of books that I got, I'm going to pull out the ones that I will definitely sit down and read. And take a look at. So, just because it's got Breyfogle's name on it, I want to check it out. Warlock, this is of mild interest. Obviously, Gotham Knights was the main reason for the purchase. The Thing, I will definitely check that out. And The Flash. So those were the two. The bonus for me was the Thing issue. Not that I'm a huge Thing fan. Like I said, I'm not reading much Marvel, but it's really hard. The 12, 13-year-old in me is still really hard when I see blind bags, and it would have been interesting to go through all the blind bags, and could I have pulled 10 other books? I'm sure I could have found 10 other issues and made my own bag out of it. But I thought I would do that really quick. Not much of another Band of Love Prime. Ultraverse is my jam, and I have to say 5 out of 10 isn't bad for that price. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to enjoy all 5 of these. And, going into something like this, again, with it being not because it's Ollie's, but anytime you're dealing with a blind bag, it's usually that front facing book, or if you're really good at being able to kind of sift through the side. And even if Gotham Knights was the only book, that was something that I was looking at. So I think it'll be pretty good. At my Ollie's, people did open and pick and choose. Yeah, I was at another Ollie's around me that some of the bags were open. So I figured, all right, people were, kind of sliding through. There was that part that was like, oh, I could do this, but I'm like, nah, not going to. I didn't want to be that guy. So I thought for the price that I paid for, $5.99. Gotham Knights probably wouldn't have been a $5 book at a comic shop. It may have been a $3 book. So for two other books, I could have easily bought the Flash and Gotham Knights at, excuse me, my local comic shop. I'd have been perfectly happy with it. So to pull the Thing, Warlock, and the Ultraverse Prime out of it is pretty good in my book. So quick, short, and sweet. Just kind of wanted to share that as far as the podcasting front. I almost did this on Everyone Loves the Drake. And part of me was like, well, I wonder if Tim Drake Robin is in this book. And of course, sure enough, he is. So that was going to be my contender to say like, oh, I'll do this on the Drake podcast. But I haven't done anything on this channel for a little bit. I keep saying I'd like to get back to do some action figure reviews, but I'm still toying with what I want to do. It's just a lot easier to hop on, fire the camera up, and be able to show some stuff. So hopefully in one of the next videos, I will do something like that. I'll pull up some of the stuff that I've bought. One of the recent purchases with all the action figures, I bought the Bat Raptor from McFarlane. Also, I'm like, I need another vehicle for the action figures to set in and on, but maybe I'll do a proper review of that. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys at some point here on Rob's Rogues. But check out the podcast, Rob and Everyone Loves the Drake, and our sister show, Everyone Loves Young Justice. We'll see you guys out there. Take care. Bye.